When great light is shining through, the darkness sometimes just gets a bit noisy. And it's so important not to get distracted by the noise and to keep the focus on the light and what we as masters are manifesting. You know, we had a time of the civilization of Lemuria. And I don't know if you know of that time, but it covers a lot of my country, Australia. And it's the energy also of the Aboriginal culture. Now, I don't know if you've been to Australia, but for a sensitive, for someone who meditates and can feel energy, when you walk into my country, to Australia, just like in India, there's this sacredness in the land. Because there we had 40, 50,000 years of Aboriginal energy. And the Aboriginals, as an ancient civilization, have walked in harmony with the land for so long. So we've had 200-300 years of white people's civilization, which isn't much. White people's civilization in Australia is like a little fly on a body, not much. So the energy there is very, very pure, even though white people came and killed many Aboriginals, for which I'm sure we are all eternally sorry for. You know, our government did apologize, which was good. But still, that land energy is so pure and so perfect. So a lot of these energies now that came through Lemuria, Lemuria was a beautiful civilization that rose and then it fell. After Lemuria, those energies came through Atlantis, and the Atlantean energies, they rose and they fell. And after that, we had Egypt, and it rose and it fell. And now we're in the same time. We are rising. But the difference is, for the first time ever, we have the chance to rise and stay risen. Yeah. If we can eliminate human hunger, we will rise and stay risen. What is the source of limitless, endless, supreme, sublime nourishment? It's what you feel when you meditate and you feel this love that is breathing you and giving you life in every moment. And if we're breathing, we can feel it. All of us live on prana already, to greater or lesser degrees. So we have a very exciting time. As Newton said, when a planet is ready to enter into a certain phase, like global vegetarianism, there are always people who will come to prepare the way for the next cycle. I come from the future worlds. I live backwards in time. My work here is to open energetic pathways, first within this physical system to be a living example, and then to allow that to work in the world and walk in the world. Because in these interdimensional realms, in these higher realms of true civility, everyone knows the power of the God force. Everyone knows the power of divine love. Imagine moving into the future where we are a planet of enlightened ascended masters, where we've understood the things the great ones have always wanted us to live, not just to know here, but to live and embody. Imagine when we are there, and some people are there now, many actually are there now. But imagine then what? What do you think will happen? What do you think will be revealed around you within the interdimensional fields? There are layers and layers and layers of dimensions right here we can step into in an instant when our hearts are pure. We will find ourselves living among truly civilized species. You'll find, as we share, that I use the word we a lot. Not I, but we. When I say we, I am talking about 7 beings that work with me. So I'll share a little bit about my journey so you can understand some of the things that I've stepped into and why. When I was 7, my parents, a little bit of background, my parents came from Norway. They were Jewish sympathizers, not Jewish, but they couldn't stand the idea that the Nazis were killing the Jews. It didn't make sense. Because they were Jewish sympathizers, they were both sent to concentration camps in Sweden. Anyone who was not supporting Hitler, who made noise about it, that's what happened. After the war, my parents came to Australia to be the lucky country. They'd seen what it's like to gossip. For example, if a man lusted after a woman and a woman said no, he would say she's a Jewish sympathizer and she would go to concentration camp. There was so much gossip, so much mistruth, that they learnt to say very, very little. But at the same time, the family energy I was born into was freedom fighters, okay? Freedom fighters. So from the time I was very, very young, we were brought up with the books of Edgar Cayce on reincarnation, on honoring your intelligence, on doing your own research, on never believing everything you hear or are told. Do your own research. And my parents thought it was good for us to have religious exposure. So we were of the Lutheran religion and we went to church. And I don't know, but for me as a child, I was incredibly naive. Everything that I heard in church about Jesus, I just believed it. When Jesus said, ask and you will receive, I started asking. I just went, okay, tell me, reveal it to me. When Jesus said, I and my Father are one, I went, wow, I'd like to feel that. When Jesus said we are made in the image of the divine, I thought, really? Show me.